You know that feeling when you've been waiting for a game to come out for a long time and the marketing seems good, the teaser shots look amazing, but then it finally comes out and it's an utter disappointment. I think you know who I'm referring to. I'm talking about Disney's Lion King, the 1994 edition. This game was the Dark Souls of my childhood. I thought this game was gonna be fun until I found the fucking giraffe level bullshit. Who put this in a kid's game, man? The cover looks so peaceful and inviting, it seemed perfect. But of course, just because the cover is good doesn't mean the game will be. Well, no more. Too many games have lied to us. Today, we're gonna change some video game covers to reflect their true nature, according to Steam reviews. Let's start off with Sony's most successful 2018 release. God of War is a wholesome game about a bond between a boy and his loving father. The game is globally recognized as an amazing dad and son simulator. Playing this game is like taking a trip down memory lane, to cherish all the wholesome moments between you and a father growing up. Except it's a PTSD warning for that time you had to hold a flashlight for your dad.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry.
Do not be sorry. Be better.
Disappointed dad simulator, 11 out of 10. Can relate. Now, don't get fooled by appearances. He seems intimidating, but Kratos is a softie on the inside.
What are we hunting?
You are hunting deer
Which way?
in the direction of deer.
Now, looking at the original cover, we can see it's going in the right direction, but I want them to do a father and son activity together. There's a lot of activities to choose from, but I feel like we could do something with hunting, where we have Atreus trying to fire his bow and Kratos just guiding him. Yeah, so I'm using a random forest here as a background. The initial idea was to take this stock footage of a boy that I found and then give him a bow and replace his head with Atreus' head, but then that just does not look good. So I'm replacing it with an actual asset of Atreus and dropping Kratos next to him, trying to get them a bit closer to each other. Make it look like he's hugging him, like a loving father. Replacing the head so he doesn't look like an NPC, and then using the puppet tool will make him point. How does this tool even fucking work? Alright, I'm replacing Kratos with the pose that works a little bit better, cropping the parts that we don't need. Then we give him a muscular arm from this muscular man and make him point. Then of course, if you go hunting, you have to smile. That's very important. Alright, this looks fucking cursed. We're running out of time and we need to lock in, so I'm taking this actual muscular arm and color correcting it to make sure it matches Kratos. And we can get rid of the old arm. We don't need that anymore. And I'm pretty sure he has a tattoo here, so I'm just slapping that on top. Now, smile goes both ways, so we'll make Atreus smile as well. Give him a little innocent, childlike smile. Happy to be here. Kratos is happy to be here, so he gets a cap. Yeah, he gets a little cap with a little camo on it. And add little shadows for the cap to feel like it's part of the same world. And now, okay, this is the fun part. So I'm trying to find out what environment works best. So obviously, I don't really know, so I'm just trying a bunch of different ones to see what feels right. And I'm liking this idea of sun kind of going through trees, kind of breaking through the shapes a little bit. So right now I'm just bashing different environments to get the feel right, and I'm dropping Foley to kind of make a composition. I don't know what composition I'm going for, so I'm kind of trying to see what feels right at the moment. Very, very fun stuff right now. I'm not too preoccupied by color at the moment. I just want a good composition. Okay, now I do care about color because everything looks like shit. So I'm trying to add these fine touches at the end, make sure everything feels right. Color correcting everything. Then we're adding a few post-processing lights and make sure we color correct it at the end just to really feel like they're in the forest. Add some falling leaves for extra complexion and a bit of noise. And here we go. Okay, this turned out better than I expected. I like this. Let's keep going. Cuphead is a classic run-and-gun action game that's pretty fun if you manage to beat the tutorial. This game has an amazing lineup of bosses. There was so much love and passion put into this game, it's insane. Except for this guy. Fuck this guy. The attention to detail for each one of these bosses and learning the patterns is crazy. Even the award for the best boss of 2017 went to Cuphead tutorial. Because the tutorial is the hardest level. It's the Dark Souls of game tutorials. Okay, you're starting to see a pattern here, right? In case you're feeling left out, here's the TLDR. There was this video game journalist who covered the preview of Cuphead in 2017, but he struggled to complete the tutorial. There's this jump dash segment that he couldn't quite get past, and this is his gameplay here. Yeah. The incident sparked some debates, about game journalists' credibility. People started doing speedruns of the tutorial. It's a mess. You get the idea. I want the new cover to reflect this complex tutorial, kind of as a warning for new players. The original cover is too playful, so we need to fix that. For this cover, I'm thinking we're gonna take the two blocks from the tutorial and give them a scary perspective, with Cuphead in the foreground. And then I'm just trying to build the shapes, get a sense of the perspective that we want to have. Obviously, I can't draw in perspective, so I'm using Blender to get a quick snapshot of it. and then just trace over it. Again, at this stage, I'm not too worried about anything else except for the composition. I want to make sure that this looks good, stands out. That's what matters the most. And then I want the line art to feel like it's hand drawn, similar to the art style of the game, you know, where they have all of these little strokes. So I'm purposefully going over the lines just slightly to really sell that idea. Then we're gonna drop the title. Found this sprite from the show, so I'm just using this here. Kind of want him to look like he's shocked, but I don't think that's necessarily a good idea, so I'm trying different poses to see what works, fixing up little bits here and there. And I thought this would be a good moment to read a few more reviews. The graphics are so bad, it looks like they're from 1950s or some shit. Yes. Do not trust the cute art. This game is about pain. That is true. This game does have its beautiful moments, but it's important to keep in mind this is a difficult game. The devs even put an Easter egg in the game telling you to go touch grass. It's nice to rest your eyes and maybe go outside. Okay, obviously I'm cherry picking these reviews because this game has a ton of positive reviews and it deserves it. This game is amazing. It's a fantastic game, and if you haven't played it, you should definitely give it a shot. Now let's get to the fun part. You know, when I said that this is a difficult game, I kind of want that to be reflected in the cover, so I'm adding a few more rougher textures. We're gonna darken everything up and give Cuphead a shadow because I want his silhouette to be visible through highlights. We're adding a general shadow in the scene as well, and then getting some overall contrast highlights to make sure the foreground and the background really stand out. We're obviously going to add the bottom prompts and then just play around with the contrast a little bit, color correct. We just add some post-processing blur and get that chromatic aberration, getting a little bit of noise, and here we go. Now this one turned out pretty cold. People still say that? What do kids say nowadays? Is this skibbity? Now we've been doing some pretty hardcore games, but sometimes all we want is a fun, relaxing game for the whole family. Well, don't worry. Dark Souls 3 is a very fun, stress-free game that will comfort you with its relaxing level design, friendly NPCs, and a non-tension inducing environment. Now, this game has a bit of a bad reputation. Way too hard for me, lost my mind. Don't listen to him. He's trolling. Even the cover of the game makes it look unapproachable, so we can fix that. We'll start this off by building a nice and relaxing environment. Gonna crop out this guy that's just chilling and turn him into a knight.
Let's decide. Maybe there's a happy tree. He lives right there.
And just building his armor brick by brick, layer by layer. Gotta position these nicely here, because we have to make you feel like you're inside one of those animes with an overpowered protagonist. We'll just carry on and finish up his armor.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
And we add a bit of a personal touch. I know that's from a different game, but this is my video, and what are you gonna do? Arrest me? Didn't think so. We're adding some grass in the foreground and a bit of shadow, but right now I'm not really feeling the vibe, and I can't tell why. Something feels off. It's not very demure. It's relaxing, but is it a truly relaxing experience? No. So I'm thinking maybe we can turn it into a little sunset. Yeah, that feels a lot better. We're gonna slap the title card in and add a few more elements in the foreground, you know, to get a real sense of it. And adding more skies, added a little river with some ducks in it. Yes. Gotta make sure that fits within the picture, darken it up a bit, and then we add the shrine. More foreground elements, and of course we have to add a bonfire. Now at this moment it may not look like it, but I am freaking out because that bonfire looks like shit. So as a professional adult, I choose to ignore it for now and let future me worry about future things. And then I put this arch in, which just felt right. I'm changing the castle a little bit and making sure the new composition works. Added a new fire and the coil sword. Gotta fix that damn leg that looks so stupid. And then add a few more effects to it. Get a bit of color grading as always, and voila! Dark Souls. A truly relaxing experience edition. Let's do one more game. For this one, I'm choosing an absolute classic. A game that was there for me when no one else was. Counter-Strike 2 is a language learning program disguised as an FPS shooter, but don't worry about that. Here, you can connect with people from all around the world.
Are you from Russia?
No, I'm from England, America!
Well, from a specific part of the world. It's known as the best program for learning the Russian language. It's a jolly team-based game where every team consists of you, a Russian guy, another Russian guy, a Russian guy who speaks English, and a 6-year-old who slept with your mother. For a game known as the fastest way to learn Russian, the cover doesn't really reflect that. Whether we look at CS2, CSGO, or 1.6, we can see that the branding of the game looks very intimidating, which is probably why kids don't play this game. So let's fix that. I'm getting a bit of a classroom vibe with this one. Thank Duolingo, but without getting kneecapped in your sleep if you miss a day. First step is cleaning it up, removing unnecessary clutter, because we'll add our own assets. All the covers display two dudes at the focus, so I'm keeping the same theme, but this time in an educational manner. Now I want the guy to make eye contact, so I'm cropping them up and repositioning them. Then we add the title card and give the guy a balaclava.
Balaclava.
I don't.
Balaclava.
Hey, that's it. Ended up replacing his head anyway and give him some gear. Also give Harold some military equipment, you know, a little bit of blending, making his shirt match the military colors and the complementary scarf. Now it's time to add some doodles to the whiteboard. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. And now we want everything to feel like it's part of the same scene, you know, adding some filters and warm colors, a little bit of smoke, and a few props on the table, nothing to worry about. Then we add the iconic orange graphic design elements and making them blend with the environment. Adding some of that to the foreground too. A little bit of blur, a little bit of noise, you know the deal. And boom! Counter-Strike, the language learning experience. Alright, some of these turned out pretty well. It was quite fun. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to leave a comment, just helps push the video. I appreciate that very much. And if you want to see how these videos are made or simply want to hang out, we are live on Twitch. Come say hi for a family-friendly stream. Yo, stop that. Alright, see you next time.